Let's talk about the episode. So we had a whole lot of events going on. We got pumpkins being launched at people that hit the wrong person and not the wrong person now. We got Thomas running out there in traffic because he saw Kat and Chad having a moment because she got news about her mother. We got Jeremy, Stephanie ex-boyfriend, running around here trying to stab Alex, and that mess. So let's go ahead and talk about it. First off, Thomas, I'm glad you realized right from wrong. I'm glad you realized that was wrong and you shouldn't have done that. Listening to the little devil on your shoulder telling you to do that, and you do this and you do that to get your way. You do this if you don't want your daddy with that person. You do that. Basically trying to do what Rachel did to Chloe and the Ava over here. He thought listening to her was gonna make him feel good for 10 seconds. I don't know how long that excitement was supposed to last with him. But she a little devil seed anyway, so she get a kick out of anything. But I'm glad he realized right from wrong. And I'm glad he realized that somebody seriously could have got hurt. Even though Brady over here talking to his little spoiled brat. I said I was sorry. I didn't mean it. I apologize. Brady. She getting older and older and older. All I can tell you at this point, you better tighten that rope a little bit more harder. Besides telling her you not going to see your mother, well, that would kind of hurt her because she loved Kristen anyways. I think using that against her, and every time she do something bad, that might end up changing her because it's obviously the counseling ain't working. Now she got little Chad over here getting in trouble, lunching pumpkins at people. So I think, Brady, that might actually work. Don't feel bad for punishing her because the sooner she realizes what she doing is wrong, the better off you would be, and the less time you have to get calls or news about your daughter then cause this type of trouble, and you do not want no grown Kristen on your hands. You do not want that on your hands. So I don't know why you feeling bad about punishing her and saying you're not gonna go see your mother. That's a good thing, Brady. It's best to go ahead and punish her now. Make her realize she was wrong for telling Thomas to lunch that pumpkin at that woman, even though Alice ended up getting hit by it because I forgot who that was moved out the way for she wouldn't get hit because they saw it coming at her. So, it's best for her to catch on now because the counseling ain't working, talking to her ain't working, grounding her ain't working. So, you know what? The next best thing, every time you get in trouble, you can't go see your mother, and Kristen not gonna help you because Kristen probably want to see her just as bad as you. Well, you don't really want to take her to go see Kristen anyways, but that's a necessity, to try to help her out in this time of need. But yeah, Kristen not gonna help you. So the best thing you can do is stop her from seeing her mother. Maybe that'll snap into her and realize that you can't go around harming people or attempting to harm people. Just cause you got away with it don't mean that everybody else gonna get away with it. And it's funny how Brady caught on and realized what she was doing and trying to use those two examples to tell Chad Jr. over here to do, and it works all the time for me. See, now, Brady, I kind of blame you for that situation because if you would have stopped her at Chloe, Ava wouldn't have got another turn at her, and it would have turned into the whole kidnapping, holding somebody hostage, somebody getting shot and all that happened in that old house. So if you would have took care of the first half, you wouldn't have had no part two of that. And have your daughter right there in the middle of a whole kidnapping, holding hostage situation. So if you would have took care of that, so that goes down to you and your parenting also, Brady. Because if you would have stopped her with Chloe, She went and did it the second time. So you got to, so you know what? I see why you down. I get it. I see why you down now. Because you already done failed her already. You let her sit there and rule and control your relationships. Chloe, she did Chloe. Well, I can't say she did Chloe the worst way. I think Ava got it worse than anybody. Chloe, yeah, Chloe, she had her little wrangle with her, but the Ava cake, that takes the whole cake. What she did to Ava and all that, and you know, poor Ava sitting in that old regular rocking chair. I knew butt was probably hurt, butt was probably sore. Yeah, I think Ava had it worse than than Chloe. I mean, you know, she just sent out a little threat here and there to Ava. To Chloe. You know, just to scare Chloe. Oh, she took it a step farther with help. Holding somebody hostage, got them feeding them and all this. So yeah, Brady, you did kind of fail your daughter. Cause you didn't teach her nothing the first time she did this. So now she done did it again. And now she's sending Thomas off by telling him, look, you do this, you might get in trouble for 2 seconds. It's gonna be fine. If you don't want your dad dating this specific person, do this, do that, and do that, and they'll run away. So yeah, Brady, it is kinda on you because you didn't stop her with the Chloe situation. Then it got worse with the Ava situation. So yes, Brady, we are blaming you. Because if you would have learned and caught on the first time around, she would have had a second chance to do it and also have help. Listening to her deranged grandma, her deranged grandma listening to this Brad, telling her that this, that, and the third, like even in harm to her or whatever. So yeah. Brady, I kind of see why you down in the dumps. You know, you upset about it. You feel like a failed parent. You should feel like one. Because if you would have stopped her the first time, it wouldn't have had no second time to go around. So yeah, I kind of see why you down now. Couldn't understand it when I first saw it. Why is he down? You're doing the right thing by keeping her away from her mother. She deserved to get punished by this. Grounding her ain't working. Talking to a counselor ain't working. So taking her mother away from her, maybe that'll connect and tell her I need to stop. Because like I said, Brady, you got a little Kristen on your hands already, and you do not want that little grown Kristen on your hand. Baby gonna be arrested before she turn 18. Messing around with her and not punishing her enough or disciplining her enough, you gonna have a little Kristen on your hands gonna be in prison before she turn 18. On her 18th birthday, she gonna be signing up for some new fancy shiny handcuffs on your behalf. So yeah, now I see why you felt like a bad parent and why you was talking to Sarah and wondering why you was like kind of down, like you felt like a horrible human being by keeping her away. Now I see why you felt that way. You should feel that way. Because like I said, if you would have been stopping her, no way she would have had that second chance. And now she telling friends and relatives to do this also to get their way. Oh no, Brady. It's time to put the brakes on this now. When she bragging and talking about how she got her way in all your relationships and now got somebody else doing said thing to get up. Brady, get your daughter. Anywho, though, the luncheon of the pumpkin hitting Alice. I don't know if it hit him in the head or whatnot. Then come to find out Mr. Slasher over here, Jeremy, Stephanie's ex-husband, he attempted to try to stab Alice. He actually did the deed and stabbed his jacket before he fell after the pumpkin lunched and hit him. But he didn't connect to what he needed to connect to. So he actually did try to attempt to stab him because they was looking for the carving knife, couldn't find it. He had it. He was aiming towards Alice somehow with the pumpkin and the luncheon, and it's hitting him first, and he attempted to, and it got his jacket but didn't connect to him, kind of good. He gonna attempt that again. And then what that was, Wednesday, Thursday, when Stephanie said, what happened to your jacket? Oh, okay. So you might have connected. So that was one. And what's going on with your jacket? Why do your jacket look like it been cut or whatnot? And so he was trying to aim for outlets and miss and connected the jacket. Well, I don't know which poison I would have chose there. Rather the pumpkin lunching at me or a stab wound. I probably would have took the pumpkin. Cause them stab wounds, I couldn't imagine the pain. I don't want to even much imagine that type of pain being stabbed. So I think that I would have took the pumpkin lunching at me over a stab wound any day. And that show you right there, he ain't over Stephanie. So he trying to ruin Stephanie's happiness, look like. Trying to stab Alice, and Alice going around threatening him and making things no better. So he was aiming for Alice. Good to know. Chanel and Johnny finally got the clearance. They finally got baby T. Rafe, Javi, Leo, Gabby all had to say, well, it's not goodbye. It's just see you later, basically. Because, like Chanel said, if I get the chance to adopt him, y'all still gonna be in the baby life regardless. I don't care. We live across town. Y'all make sure y'all come every day and see this baby. Because y'all basically is a part of his life, and that's not gonna change. It made Leo and Harvey the stepdaddies, the godparents. So basically, all that ain't gonna change. And that, it was sad and bittersweet for the Hernandez family, Harvey and Leo, but not really that bad because, the baby in town, they gonna run into the baby more times than the law allow. So, it's really, they really, they gonna miss, taking care of the baby. But as for seeing the baby and being around the baby, it's just like ain't nothing changing. So it was a kind of bittersweet moment for the Hernandez family. Leo, it hit him hard, Harvey even harder. But at the end of it, all turned out good, and very good for everybody involved because, the baby ain't gonna miss a step. He know the Hernandez family and Javi and Leo, and he's still gonna be around them regardless of the situation of who got the child now. So, you know what? It was bittersweet. It was sad, but at the same moment, they're not gonna miss not one step. Look how many times people run into somebody in Salem that they don't want, that they don't want to. So they really ain't gonna miss no step at all in that child life. And Leo, now I tagged you as a smart person. Do not fall for Gwen and her little scheme here. I don't think you gonna fall for it anyways because I think you smart enough, and you already said it that, look, why all of a sudden now you being nice to me? I've been trying to be nice to you. I've been trying to be cordial to you. You telling me to go to hell at every chance you telling me to go. So why all of a sudden now you're trying to be nice to me? So with that being said, I don't think Leo gonna really fall in and got him running behind Dimitri. He said he ain't stunned Dimitri, don't want no parts of Dimitri. So I don't think he gonna really fall into it. And come to find out now, why EJ got the secret lab, the Versavets, the life-changing drug that saved Bo, he got it in his hands now, and he want Mark, and Dr. Ruff is back. You know what Dr. Ruff hands in this? That's going to be something else. Dr. Ruff and his little magic chemicals and his magical drugs. The fact that you got Dr. Ruff on this, I ain't got no hope in this drug no more. The moment I saw Dr. Ruff, I said, scheme over. That drug is going to be just as dead and gone with Dr. Ruff and his hands touching it. that drug is gonna be that drug ain't gonna never hit the shelves. Not with Dr. Roth hands on it. You know how many medical drugs that man that came up with that worked for maybe a year or maybe almost to a year, then start working. Don't nobody trust his medical experiments, and I wouldn't trust it as far as I can throw it. And he wouldn't come near me with a syringe at one of his medical drugs. So yeah, with his hands in it, I said, with his hands on it, this drug is gonna be one hell of a drug. You already know when Dr. Roth touch something or come up with something, you already know it's gonna be, something hell coming with it. And now we on the cat and her mother in the early signs of dementia. Chad trying to comfort her, even though Thomas was, thought he was getting his dad back. And he basically kept his word. He just was wondering why Cat was upset and mad at the moment. And Thomas saw that as they was getting together, he lied to him and then ran in front of ran from the Horton Town Square in the traffic. Hopefully the little boy alright, but yeah, wrong place, wrong time for Jennifer and Thomas. He saw that and completely snapped, poor thing. And now he done ran out there in traffic. Hopefully he finding alright. Cause yeah, that made my heart stop when I heard him running and I heard the horns and saw Chad and Jennifer reaction. I hope he alright. That's gonna be sad to see that boy get hurt cause of, a misunderstanding. Even though Chad shouldn't have been doing that. But a call to her or whatever. But yeah, that's gonna be, too much. Way too much. But anyways though, y'all, that was the episode. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. Have a good weekend, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye.